Hey guys, Augie Sanchez coming at you with an Outriders build guide, and in today's guide we're going to have a look at the Technomancer and most of all a budget build. Alright, let's get straight into the build, shall we? So for our weapon we're using an assault rifle tactical VAR just because it has the best DPS per bullet, and that's just the best thing to use with the Technomancer. So for your stats you want crit damage and long range damage, and close range damage is the most optimal. But close range damage is your optionary one that you can change out for anything. So as long as it has crit damage and long range damage, you're sorted. And then for mods, we're only using tier 1 and 2 mods in this build. So we'll be using Bone Shrapnel and Anomaly Enhancement on this build. Because of Anomaly Enhancement, you'll be like, what? This isn't an anomaly build? But our Anomaly Power gives us firepower because of a thing we have going on later on with mods and something in our skill tree, which I'll talk about. But the other option you could do is improve freezing bullets and bone shrapnel. Improve freezing bullets because we will have a mod that increases our freeze damage, but it only procs every 4 seconds on the tier 2 mod. So mostly you'll just be using it on captains and elites and stuff like that, and brood mothers. It won't really proc that much on smaller ads because you'll one-shot them. So honestly, the best thing to do, bone shrapnel or anomaly enhancement. Alright, let's move straight onto the gear. So the best rolls that you can get on your purples would be bonus firepower, long range damage and cooldown reduction. The optional one there is cooldown reduction. That could be close range damage or anything for that matter. As long as you have bonus firepower and long range damage, you'll be alright. So cooldown reduction and close range damage is your other options. Alright, straight into mods. We're using Dum Dum bullets for just a plain 10% flat increased assault rifle damage since you'll be using assault weapon. And we will have Bloodlust, increasing your firepower by 17,000 stacks up to 3 times and deteriorates every 10 seconds. So that's just plain. Kill enemies, you get free firepower. Alright, moving on to the chest piece, we are using Stand Tall and Damage Absorber. Now these are both optional mods. You can really put in whatever you want of here. Stand Tall, I'm just because I have nothing else to get in tier 1 and 2 that I didn't need. So that's just flat 15% firepower damage and 10% anomaly damage, and that will be stacking with anomaly enhancement again, so boosting your firepower and anomaly as well at the same time. Damage absorber you could swap out for mitigation from death as well. It is more armor but less resistance, but I have heard that there's a debuff, or not a debuff, like there's a bug with bloodlust and mitigation from death not stacking properly if they're both on your gear at the same time. So I just use damage absorber for flat increased damage resistance and armor. And then moving on to the pants, we have critical analysis just because there's nothing else I could get. Increases your critical damage by 15% when Blighted Round is up. That's just free damage. And then yet again, crit stack, we have granting you anomaly power and firepower every time you crit, stacking up to 5 times. Now with anomaly enhancement, that actually turns out to be just about equal to a Sharp Eye, which is a tier 3 mod. It's like 1k firepower short of a tier 3 mod because of that combo. So that yet again, anomaly and firepower stacking. Okay, let's move on to our gloves. Trick up the sleeve is mandatory because it gives you your bullets back when you kill stuff with blighted rounds. That's just how you keep your toxic rounds, and they should always be up if you're doing this build. Alright, and then freezing boost, 15% increased damage against frozen targets because you'll be using cold snap as well. It's like an elite killer. And then that is your other option, but honestly just stick with that. Alright, let's move to boots. Toxic lead is another way of getting your ammo back, and if you have both of these on, you should never lose your blighted rounds as long as you are killing stuff. And then radical therapy is 15% damage increase against enemies afflicted by toxic, just plain flat damage. Alright, let's move on to our skills. So blighted turret we're using to proc a skill tree node in our class. It gives you 40% weapon damage for 10 seconds. So you'll just be chucking that up as often as possible, and it's got a 6.5 second cooldown. Lasts for 10 seconds, the buff from your skill tree. So yeah, chuck out blighted turret as often as possible. Don't forget to check it out. Alright, cold snap we're kind of using as an elite killer in this build because it freezes them in place, gives you 15% increased damage, and it's just easy to hit headshots when they're frozen. You could use it on mobs as well to get out of sticky situations, but yeah, it's pretty much for an elite killer. And then we're moving on to blighted rounds, the bread and butter of this build. Now blighted rounds you want up all the time because this is where all your damage is coming from. If it falls off, you still have a little bit of damage to survive, but yeah, just keep blighted rounds up all the time, and with this setup it should be fairly simple to keep it up. Just kill stuff. And then for your class tree, you will be going up the top tree because of a gun build. So we're getting weapon damage over there, weapon leech, armor piercing, crit damage. This applies vulnerable with toxic, increases the effective vulnerable by 40%. Up here we've got decrease your distance for long range, So that's two of those nodes, so it decreases it by 6 meters. That's almost the same length as moaning winds. It just makes it so when enemies are near you, that you can still do decent damage to them, so that you're not just completely gibbed by them being up in your face. And over here we have increased weapon damage by 8%, that's just flat damage. Assault Master for 20% increased assault rifle damage, flat 8% damage. There's increased toxic by 10%. Over here we have assault weapon damage again, just flat damage. Armor piercing, and then down. So this increases all your damage received by 15%, but all your damage is increased by 20% that you deal, so no brainer. That increases long range weapon damage again by 30%. And up here, Grand Amplification, increase anomaly power by 4% for each unlocked BR8 Impact Amplifier class node. That is another reason why we're using the anomaly enhancement on our weapon, because we have 3 of those. We have there, and right at the start. That's another 12% anomaly damage, also giving you firepower, so it all adds up together. And this is increased mag size 50%, increased toxic damage 15%, and then this is also the reason why you're using the blighted turret. Activating decay increases weapon damage for you and your allies by 40% for 10 seconds. So that is the build, guys, right there. Have a look, copy it, and yeah, I'm going hard on the Outriders videos. Hope you guys are enjoying them, and comment, rate, and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1k subs by the end of the year, and we're like 2 subs away from 500 right now, so we're halfway there to our goal. And thank you guys all for the support, and I'll catch you in the gameplay and the next video. Augustin out.
Damn it. More of them. All I'm missing is some elevator music. Whatever that thing is, that switch is disabled. Whoa. There's an elevator in this flat.
Yeah, that might be a difference. The elevator should lead to the heart of the facility.
About those energy spikes? The insurgents had a functioning power cell down here.
What did you do with it?
It's disabled. I'll see if Zahidi can't take a look at it. And I found a pod down here.
You saved some lives today, Outrider. I would expect nothing less from you.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the